Good morning. So I'm doing another day in Cardiff today. People seem to be emerging from their cocoons, which is good. So yeah, it's nice that people are booking in for shamanic healings, for some guidance. And yeah, if you want to book in, just message me through my page, Be Shamanic, which is on Facebook. So things are picking up, okay, and I guess as I was driving to work today, the motorway was busy, the roads were busier, there seemed to be a somewhat more frantic energy around, which kind of made me want to retreat a little bit because it was like, oh wow, everyone's been locked away for a while, and now it's like, yeah, we're out and playing again, fantastic, and but that can be a little bit too much. Okay, so if you're feeling that energy a bit, if you're feeling that franticness as people are starting to reopen businesses, as life is starting to re-emerge into some semblance of what it was in the past, albeit somewhat differently, then just kind of check in on yourself, because it's don't underestimate the power of, or the effect of having been somewhat confined with a slower pace of life for quite a long period of time, almost half a year. Yeah. Take it easy, come out gently. Yeah, crawl before you can walk, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, don't be in a rush to reimpose so much bloody stress on your life. We're all kind of, oh my god, got to get back to work, got to do this, got to do that. And yeah, I mean, yes, we do. We need to kind of earn our keep, as they say, and pay the bills. But just take some time. Take some time out as this emergence starts to happen now, to contemplate what you liked about that period of stillness or less franticness that we've all experienced over the last few months, and tap into that and look at how you might want to carry some of that forward into your life ahead, because there's power in stillness, right? There's power in silence. There's power in coming back to yourself. Okay. So to have kind of experienced what we've gone through, and then just to kind of just go, right, sod that, back to work, 20 hours a day. Yeah, back to my frantic craziness where I don't really ever check in on myself. It's just do. It would be a shame, because it would be a wasted opportunity to look at what that experience could have taught you. Okay, so it's just a reminder that you don't have to go back to the pace of life that you were living before. I certainly was really busy before all this kind of crazy lockdown thing started, and it's given me an opportunity to go, well, actually, yeah, I was rushing around like quite a lot, kids, work, looking after elderly parents, all that kind of stuff, and it takes its toll, even though you kind of, sometimes you work in automaton, you work in automatic, but when you actually stop and slow down, you think, whew, yeah, that was a bit crazy. Not sure I want to do that again. It's a bit like when you go on holiday, isn't it? It takes you about 3 or 4 days to wind down, and then you relax. You really relax. And it's when you really relax, have you noticed that sometimes you get a bit of a cold, or you get a bit of flu, or you get a bit of some ailments coming through, you get a bit ill, a bit sick. You're giving your body a chance to release all the tension and all the stress, okay? And that has to come out somehow. That has to come out. It doesn't just kind of disappear into thin air. It's a natural process, and more often than not, the body releases those psychological toxins, I call them, through physical means. Yeah? A lot of people that come to healings, they might suffer a cold or a few odd things after the healing, which more often than not is just the body releasing physically the energy that we've shifted metaphysically. Okay, because that's what the body's for, really. The body's a good energy sink. It's a good transformer, right? We're just physical constituents, physical pieces of coagulated, condensed energy that allow spirit and other more subtle energies to flow through and manifest through. And a bit like when you're stepping down electricity from the main power line into your copper cable at home, you've got to stick it through a big lump of metal, a transformer, so it doesn't blow your fuses, right? So too much stress blows your fuses. Yeah, so the body has to transform that somehow. And unfortunately, they say stress is the biggest killer. They're right. Franticness, stress, disharmony, craziness, insanity takes you completely out of balance. And then the body responds in a certain way to that energy. Yeah. It's just law. It's called karma. Yeah, you don't have to get spiritual about it. You can get scientific about it. Yeah, whatever you want. It's just fact. It's fact. Okay. So, if you think you're a victim to your circumstances, maybe it's an opportunity to really look in and check in and say, well, actually, no, I'm in control. I've got power over my choices. I've got power over my lifestyle. I've got power over my responsibilities, and I also have power over, to some extent, my desires, because a lot of our expectations and desires about life can dictate the type of lifestyle that we want to live, or that we think we need to live in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled, in order to be content. But more often than not, that comes at a price. Yeah, that comes at a heavy price. It's like you're selling your soul to materiality. You're selling your soul to Satan. Yeah, Satan. I've seen a few posts recently of on Facebook, and I don't want to judge or be critical, but it makes me giggle. Okay, how people don't really understand what Satan is. Okay, and I ain't gonna go into that today. But everything outside of you, including your body, if I told you was Satan, right, you might go, no, it's not. Well, actually, anything material, anything that is physical, anything that is ever-changing and entropic, okay, i.e. tends towards chaos, tends towards dissolution, tends towards death, yeah, is satanic. All right? So, Satan isn't necessarily bad, right? It's just, you've got to know what it is, right? You've got to know that it's there to help you grow. Yeah? It tempts you. Without temptation, yeah, you don't have an opportunity to overcome temptation. Yeah? If you don't overcome temptation, how do you grow? How do you allow yourself to build your spiritual muscles rather than just your physical muscles? Yeah? So you need a tempter, you need an opponent in order to grow, in order to resist. Yeah? And so Lucifer, the archetype, Satan, the archetypal energies that surround these names, these labels, are there to help you if you can recognize it like that. Yeah? I'm not saying you worship, please don't get me wrong here, right? A lot of people can misinterpret this stuff. He's satanic. But with shamanic work, with shamanism, with certain traditions, you've got to look at both the heaviness and the lightness of life, right? You can't avoid one. You can't say one is bad and one is good. Yeah? Both are necessary in order to, encompass and create this dualistic framework that we are learning from. And by learning, I mean the more we can become objective in our perceptions, the more we can step back and understand ourselves more objectively, the more this material mother, the divine mother, the womb that we all exist within, of different grades of energy, highly condensed physicality that we're in at the moment, moving up through more subtle dimensions of experience. The more this helps us understand ourselves, the more this helps us come back to our own internal essence. And this might all sound a bit wishy-washy, but I guess what the key message from this is too much fixation on out there, too much fixation on feeding your material desires, your temporary material desires, in order to feel happy, fulfilled, and content, will never make you happy, fulfilled, and content. They will tend to make you feel stressed, disharmonious, and unhappy, because you'll never permanently fulfill that. It's a bit like you'll become a hungry ghost. Your belly will never be full. So just reverse it, just switch it, just look at the temptations, look at the things that are coming at you from outside now, especially as we are starting to emerge again and go, I really miss my McDonald's, I really missed going out to the pub and socialising with my mates, I really miss this, I really miss that. And there's this franticness of wanting to get back into the game. Pull back a bit and go, well, actually, did I really miss it? Did I really miss it? Did my wallet really miss it? Did my physiology, did my physical body really miss it? Am I feeling more energized now, or am I feeling more fatigued? Some of us might actually be feeling more fatigued at the moment because there are massive energy shifts going on globally. So if you're quite sensitive, then you might be feeling a little bit, not under the weather, but a little bit kind of apathetic and a little bit tired, and that's okay. You've got to go with how you feel. But I certainly feel more relaxed after all of this. And you can't make progress psychologically unless you are in a relaxed state of body and mind. Okay? A relaxed state of body and mind really helps you start to access your inner world. You can't access your inner world if your mind is full of stuff to do. Yeah? But you can access your inner world if your mind is still and quiet and you are relaxed. And that relaxation also helps you re-regulate and re-harmonize. So, I guess I'm just saying relax. All is well, yeah? Because it is, really. Right now, take a deep breath. Take a long, deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds. Release. Take another one. Hold it for a few seconds. And release. And everything is okay, right? Everything's okay. It really is. There's nothing out there that A, can't wait, typically. That B, if it isn't done, doesn't really matter. Alright? And C, if you feel under pressure, if other people or other situations are putting you under pressure, then try to feel in and contemplate on A, your role within that situation, and B, whether you're setting the correct boundaries for yourself. Because in these days, boundaries are so important. Setting correct, assertive, strong, energetic boundaries is really important, because there are going to be people that want to steal your energy. There are going to be people that want to take your time, your effort, and your gifts, and probably not give much back. But not necessarily not give much back, but there are probably a lot of vulnerable, but there are a lot of vulnerable people out there at the moment with all these changes going on, and it's a bit like the drowning man. The drowning man will stick out his hand, and the compassionate empathic, okay, a lot of my clients end up are pretty much either healers themselves or compassionate empathics who just want to go save everyone, yeah, who just want to make everyone feel better because they feel everyone else's pain, but they've not learned to set their own correct boundaries. So if you grab that drowning man's hand, be prepared to be pulled into the water, right, and flail and kick, and hopefully not drown yourself. All right. Put your life jacket on first. Put a rubber ring round you, or better still, throw him a life jacket and a rubber ring. Yeah. Set your boundary. Keep the distance. Yeah. You're not there to fix other people. You're not there to deal with other people's karma, because if you do, you're dishonoring them. They're not learning through that process. You're there to hold space. You're there to maybe hold a compassionate listening ear at times, okay? You're there to help if you're asked to help, but with an equal and reasonable exchange of energy. So, boundaries. I can't stress boundaries enough, all right? And if the boundary has to be a big fat fuck off, right, then so be it, yeah? I draw the line at violence, right? But, there's ways and means of being able to set appropriate boundaries with individuals and energies, okay, to say no. No. Yeah? And no is a sentence in its own right. Anyone trying to impose their will through force over you, okay, that's unfortunate. That happens sometimes. And how you deal with that will depend on the situation. There was I can't remember where I read it, but it might have been the Bible actually. But if someone imposes force over you, at some level internally you are protected by God. You're protected by Spirit. Okay? If you're refusing to consent, if you're refusing to consent to something which you feel is going against your free will, then you're protected. Okay? But if you allow yourself to consent to something because you think you might be missing out on something else if you do, i.e. you succumb to coercion, which is another great Luciferian or satanic technique to tempt you, do you know what, we're going to corral you into this box here and offer you all of this, but only if you do that, right? Bit like, you can come to our supermarket, but you can only pay with debit card or credit card. We don't accept cash anymore, right? Or you can, go to the pub again and drink all this alcohol, but only if you wear a face mask or only if you have an injection or whatever, right? That's coercion ultimately, and in many ways they're making laws against coercion now, so it's kind of against the law, isn't it? But if you succumb to coercion, then you're not protected because you've not set an appropriate boundary, and you've failed the test. Yeah, you've succumbed to temptation, and to get that desire met, you'll do anything. Yeah, you'll do anything to get that desire met. So look into those desires. How strong are they in you, really? How much power do they have over you, over your soul, over your psyche? All very interesting work, yeah? All good work, great work, all right? So just bear that in mind as we kind of re-emerge and look to what you've managed to do without, that could have saved the planet, right, if everyone had done without it for the last 20 years, which could have done good things for other people, which could have consumed less and helped your health more, and allowed us to live in a less frantic kind of lifestyle. Look at what we've given up over the last 3 or 4 months and see what can remain given up. Yeah? I was talking to to my partner Wendy the other day. I was saying, well, it's almost like going back to the 1970s. You know, I was born in the 1970s, early 70s, and as you grew up through the 1970s, early 80s, it's a bit like it was during lockdown. You know, you had to make your own fun, right? Go out on your bike, go playing, go knocking on doors, yeah, that kind of stuff. There wasn't so much distraction out there, yeah. So, lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Okay, evil is really mainly ignorance. It's mainly kind of forgetfulness of who you truly are inside. That's what evil is. Evil is kind of a forgetfulness, a veil of forgetfulness of what your truth is internally, deep down within you. So there we are. See you next time.